Great. A lot of people kept warning me that married life is very tough.
నీ లైఫ్ లో ఉంటే వాడుండాలి లేదా నేను
It's usually her begging me to stop singing. So that's what happens at home.
Samaya, Samaya, idi nee maya.
Nothing in the world can prepare you for that as well. The happiness and the sheer joy you will get from nothing in the world can prepare you. As much as you want to prepare, you will have to experience it. And
చూపించే జాదు తూనే కియా అవి వెళ్ళేదేటో.
you know, just learn to become mature and learn to deal with it. Nothing can prepare you for a very big and warm hi to all India Glitz viewers. This is Rahul Ravindran here. My film Tiger that I've done with Sundeep, Kishan and Seerath Kapoor is releasing on the 26th of June, this Friday. So do go watch it in your theatres and do log into India Glitz for all updates regarding the film. Oh, it's been a lot of struggle, it's been a lot of hard work, but it's also been extremely satisfying. I'd rather be slogging and working hard and struggling in cinema than be successful in any other industry. So hopefully we'll be successful in cinema, very, very successful in cinema as well someday with all your wishes. But it's been a thoroughly enjoyable experience. I don't love anything in this world more than I love cinema. And when I quit my job and made the decision to come back here and try cinema, that was the only thing in my mind, that I have to somehow survive and make it and become an actor or in some way be associated with the industry. So very, very happy. From a very young age, actually, I was very active in culturals and theatre and all that in school and college, and I used to do professional theatre. I was very active in culturals, more in inter-school cultural competitions than in my classroom. So I kind of always had that creative bug. I think I picked up that gene from my mum. She's a very creative person. She used to be very active in culturals and theatre and all that when she was young. And so when I finished educating myself, I mean, I did a post-graduation. That was important because I'm not from a film background. So to have an educational backup is important, so that you have a cushion to fall back on. You know, if cinema doesn't work out, what next? You know, you have to have that education and a job experience to go back to that life. So I wanted to make sure I had an education. I wanted to make sure I had some kind of work experience so that I wouldn't have to start from scratch if cinema didn't work out. So I worked for about a year and a half, and which is when I made the decision that if I didn't try cinema now, I'd never be able to try it again in my life. So I said, okay, let's quit our job, come back, try. You know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll go back to a job. So that was kind of the mindset. So to answer your question, the bug did kind of bite young, but the concrete decision to get into cinema happened much later. So almost 5 years. I'll be completing 5 years in August. It's changed me a lot as a person. You know, in cinema, there's a lot of struggle. So I think when you learn to cope with struggle, that itself makes you a more mature person. And in cinema, unlike in other professions, you know, for example, you've had a bad year in another job and your performance appraisal isn't very good. Your failure is not public. But in cinema, whether you fail or you succeed, it's very public. It's reasonably easy to deal with success, but it's very difficult to deal with failure when it's so public, when everybody knows you've just had a flop film and nobody's gone and watched it. And that kind of teaches you a lot as a person. It teaches you a lot about your own self, how strong you are mentally. So in that sense, cinema has made me a better person, I'd like to think. One thing I've learned from cinema is that no matter what, you have to stay positive. This side of cinema, as much as you'll want to prepare, you really can't. That's the truth. You will think you have an idea what it will be like to struggle in cinema, but until you actually start struggling in cinema, you'll have no idea. That's when it'll really hit you. And I mean, you know it when you've done a bad film and when nobody likes the film and when it's a flop film. And to be able to go and sit in a theater in between 500 people and watch a bad film and hear them commenting on the film and hear them react negatively to a film, nothing can prepare you for that. Absolutely nothing. At the same time, when you've done a film that you like and you're hoping the public likes, and you go and sit and watch first day, first show, and when the whole audience reacts positively and there's an energy in the theater, nothing in the world can prepare you for that as well. The happiness and the sheer joy you will get from sitting in a theater where audiences are loving your film, nothing in the world can prepare you. Absolutely. So as much as you want to prepare, you will have to experience it and just learn to become mature and learn to deal with it. Nothing can prepare you for either the success or failure that cinema will give you. So first of all, thank you for thinking that I'm promising. Made my day. To be honest, I made my debut in Tamil, but then I've not really been dabbling in both languages. I've been sticking to Telugu for the last 3 years or so. Ever since Andala Rakshasi released, I shifted bag and baggage to Hyderabad and I've been focusing only on Telugu films. I've just done one cameo in Vanakkam Chennai in between in Tamil, but otherwise nothing. It's only now that I'm finally doing a Tamil film with Sega Veppam's director called Pallandu Varga, which will also have a Telugu release. But my priority is Telugu. I've worked really hard to make myself some kind of a name here in Telugu, and I want to focus on Telugu. But these days, a lot of heroes are doing both languages, and it's good to have some kind of a market in both languages so that, for a younger hero, when they put in a budget, when they know that they can have a release in 2 languages, the producer is that much safer. So it makes sense, but my priority will clearly always be Telugu, and I'll probably, if I get a really nice script or a really good team, I'll on and off go into a Tamil film. So that's the plan right now. Tiger is about an interesting triangle. Usually triangles are all about either 2 guys loving one girl or 2 girls falling in love with one guy. But Tiger is about 2 best friends and one of the best friends falling in love with a girl, and how the equation changes between the 3 of them because of these 2 relationships. So it's an interesting film. It has a very fresh approach to relationships between friends and between a young couple. So yeah, in that sense, it's good fun. And I play this character called Vishnu in the film. Sundeep's character and my character are best friends from childhood in the film. And Vishnu is a very he's an animated guy. He's very expressive. He's energetic and all that. But he's also got the silent side to him where he's mature. He will analyze well before making a decision. He's very calm. He doesn't get emotionally flustered too easily. And he will do anything in the world for his best friend and his girlfriend. And when he's put in a complicated situation, how he reacts is his character. So yeah, you'll have to, for what the situation is, you'll have to watch the film, of course. I think it's pretty evident from the trailer now that I am paired opposite her. Like I said, in the whole triangle, Seerath's my girlfriend. I'm Tiger's best friend, so how that relationship evolves between the 3 of us is the core of the film. So yeah, Seerath's my love interest in the film, and I am Tiger's best friend in the film, and we will do anything for each other, go to any lengths for each other. So when there is a certain spot of bother that occurs in the film, and what the 3 characters do, what Tiger does is the rest of the story. So. Like I said, there are films about friendship, there are films about love triangles, but this one isn't a conventional triangle. This is not one where 2 people are in love with the same person. It's not that kind of a triangle. So it's an interesting relationship that way. I am madly in love with someone. I mean the world to my friend. He means the world to me. So it's a unique relationship in that sense, and that's what's fresh about the film. And I don't think that's been approached, that sort of an angle has been dealt with in cinema before. I can't remember any, at least. So yeah. Usually, no matter what, somewhere down the script, somewhere say about second half or so, you'll have one character falling in love, or it'll usually end up being a triangle. But this film, not the case. So I think that's the freshness of the film. Oh, it's been great. A lot of people kept warning me that married life is very tough. Touchwood, it's been pretty easy. I mean, I guess if you have an understanding wife who's more a friend than a wife, who's a sweet person and understanding person, I think married life is pretty smooth, and it's been pretty smooth. So it is. We thought about it before getting married. We said, your career is in Chennai, my career is in Hyderabad, and are we going to be able to manage? After a point, we kept discussing about it a lot before we got married. But after a point, we realized that we've found someone we want to spend the rest of our lives with. A lot of people go through their entire lives without finding that one person. Said, if there are going to be difficulties and issues, big deal, we'll deal with it. At least we have someone we want to spend the rest of our lives with. So I think that was the more important basic decision. Once that was made, we said, you know what, we'll make it work. So I have a break, I go there, she has a break, she comes here, and we make it work. It's fine. And then there is, of course, we are in the era of cell phones. I cannot imagine what kind of a nightmare it would have been if cell phones hadn't been invented yet. But yeah, we are in the era of cell phones. So I don't really feel distant from her. You know, we're constantly on the phone with each other. We're messaging each other. So it's good. I do, because Chinmay will never give me expert opinions on scripts. She's very unassuming that way. She's the sort of typical audience member that likes going and watching happy films, likes coming out happy out of a theater. She doesn't like depressing drama. She doesn't like tragedy. So she's somebody who's a good person to get an opinion from, in the sense that when I tell her a story and judging by her reaction, I'll know if it'll make the audience happy or if it's the kind of film an audience will want to see. So in that sense, she gives me a nice third person viewpoint on scripts. So I do discuss most of my scripts with her when I get an offer. I mean, the whole 1 year has been interesting. So yeah, I don't know which particular moment to pick, but traveling with her was such a pleasure. I mean, we went on our honeymoon. We were in England and Scotland, and that was such a pleasure. Just being left alone, the two of us, in a country. And you know, we both the type that loves exploring new cultures and new countries, and you know, new landmarks and experiencing heritage of another country. So that was a lot of good fun. And I think every time I either go back to Chennai or she comes to Hyderabad is a memorable moment, especially if the gap has been long. So. The fact of the matter is, I'm the one who keeps singing at home. She's the singer, but she doesn't have a habit of constantly singing. I do. I sing terribly badly, but I keep singing at home. So it's more than me taking lessons from her. It's usually her begging me to stop singing. So that's what happens at home. This is what the team told me. I didn't ask Sir about it. I was too nervous to ask him about it. But this is what the team said. They said when the story discussion was going on that he had said that Andal Rakshasi Abbai unnadu kada, Abbai bauntadi role kani chepparanta. So when I heard that, I said, Sir, date eppudu kavali cheppandi nenu ichchestanu. So I had met him once before. I had met Sir at last year's Filmfare Awards, where I was hosting, and he won Best Actor for Seethamma Vakilo Sirumale Chettu. And I had gone up to him and congratulated him. And almost a year later, I go on the sets of Srimantharu, and I had met the director. I had met everybody before, and I had shot for a day, but I hadn't met him. The second day of shoot, I think he was also there, and my shot with him was the last shot of the day. So I kept waiting the whole day. Didn't have any shots with him. Finally, the last shot of the day, they asked me to come over to the set. I came there and he was already standing there, and he turns around and gives me a smile. And as much as I thought I was prepared, I mean, I've seen stars. I work in the industry myself. I couldn't help feeling a little starstruck. I didn't feel starstruck when I met him at Filmfare, but to see him on the set at his workplace, where he's the king of the set. He owns the set, and there is that vibe, unmissable vibe around him. And to see him there was, I just froze. I didn't go up to him because I didn't want to make a fool out of myself. I didn't want to embarrass myself. So I took some time to compose myself before I actually walked up to him and said hi. And he was very sweet. He said, hi, how are you? I remember we met at Filmfare last year and all that. I said, thank you, sir. And one thing I realized the few times I had a couple of chats with him is that he watches films more than any person I know. Any film's name you throw at him, be it English, Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, whatever you throw a film's name at him, he's seen it. He'll discuss the film at length. So I realized that more than anybody I've met in the industry, he watches more films. So it's been a fantastic experience. And just observing his approach to a shot, to a scene, to cinema, it's been a fascinating learning experience. How focused he is, and how much he takes his work seriously, even after reaching that stage. He never takes one single shot for granted. And those are things young actors like me can learn from. So yeah, it's been a great experience. Once again, on the 26th of June, this Friday, Tiger will be releasing at your favorite screens. Do go watch it in theatres. Kill piracy. We're putting a lot of effort in the film, just like any other film crew puts in effort into their film. Please discourage piracy. Please kill piracy. Go watch our film in theaters, and we look forward to your patronage and support.